It is. How the fuck is it Friday already? That's insane. These days are going so fast. I swear, I wake up every morning, I go to the computer, and then I start working, and then I do a few things, and then I'll look at the clock, and it's like 7 in the evening. I'm like, what the fuck? Where's the what? It's 7 in the evening, and like 2 days later than I thought it was, and I'm lying in a ditch with a bunch of missed messages from my family. Okay. All right. I should explain what I've been doing. I spent like a week. Uh, right. I've been for about a week. I've been working on optimizing the build, and I'm basically done now. And so the things I was optimizing were the amount of time it takes for a clean build to complete, which I got down from. It was 5 minutes. I did some like rough timings of it. It used to take 5 minutes 30 for a clean build, and I got that all the way down to 1 minute 49, which I'm pretty happy with. And I did that with a combination of like moving header files around, breaking header files into smaller header files, and precompiled headers as well. I should have recorded the stuff I did with the precompiled headers actually, because I recorded the video about G flags because I'd never see anybody talking about G flags, and it's this like really, really important thing to know about. Nobody ever talks about it. Nobody even knows about G flags on Windows. It's such a good tool, and I think like a couple of people found that helpful. The other thing that not that many people know about is like the process for like if you have a build that's taking longer than you think it should do, then there's like a hacky solution to speed up the build, and it's called precompiled headers. And basically what you do is you I'll show you what you do. You go to here, you run this as administrator, and then there's a tool in here called vcperf.exe. You do vcperf/start and then a name. So it would be like vcperf /start blockhead. You just give it some random name. So you do that, and then you run your build. And then when the build is finished, you go vcperf stop blockhead, and then you give it a file name .etl. And then that etl, did I delete my etl? It generates a message file. I might have deleted it. So yeah, I deleted, so I can't show you. But anyway, it generates an ETL file, and then you open it in this thing called Performance Analyzer. Sorry. And then in Performance Analyzer, you on the left-hand panel, you can find a thing called Build Insights Files. So open the one that says Build Insights Files, and there it will show you like how much time is being spent in the build parsing each header file. So you can like accumulate this list of expensive header files, and then you just go in your CMake and you add this target precompiled headers thing, and you just list the expensive headers. And if these are headers that change often during development, then this is a detrimental thing to do. But if they don't change that often, then it really speeds up the build. So basically the compiler will just look at this list of files, and it will precompile them into some kind of object format, which is faster to parse. So instead of just text including the header file every time it sees the hash include directive, it will like do some other magical thing where it already has the precompiled objects in some like in a format that's much faster to manage. So the downsides of precompiled headers is eventually this list will be out of date. Like as the project changes and develops over time, it'll become out of date, and then eventually this list will be wrong. So you have to like occasionally just like comment out this stuff and maybe run vcperf again just to get a new list of header files to include here. Anyway, that was a really bad explanation of precompiled headers, but you can go read about it yourself. Oh yeah, the other thing I did, the other part of like when I was talking about optimizing the build was I had this problem where these really massive object files were being generated during the build, and that was causing problems on my GitHub actions. So on GitHub I have these actions that run every time I commit. It will automatically compile on Linux just to check if it's all running, or if it's all compiling successfully. And for a long time, it was just it was broken because it would. Let me see if I can find an example. It'd get like halfway through the build, and it would just say terminated. And basically it's running out of RAM. It took me a while to figure out what was going on. It's running out of RAM because of these massive object files that are being generated during the build. Like this one here, this translation unit would generate a beamreact.obj or whatever it is, the equivalent is on Linux. On Windows, that was like 0.5 GB in size. And on Linux, I tried it on my laptop to see how big the object file is being generated, and it's like 3 to 4 gigabytes for this one translation unit. It's ridiculous. Well, that was in a debug build. I think in release it should be a lot smaller, and these are release builds. Anyway, it was crazy. That was because because of the way I was like doing the diffing between different versions of the project model. Trying to find where. Basically, I'm not going to be able to show you it very well, but diff info. So this is my new after I refactored it to make smaller object files. But I have a bunch of like, this is like a list of like descriptions of things that have changed between one version of the project and another. So things like a block was added, or a block was erased, or a lane was added, or yeah, the color of a track has changed, the name of a track has changed. So it's just these little structs, and there's like hundreds of them, and I was putting them all in a massive variant. Yeah, std variant. This thing. So I'm like a bit odd in that I'm sort of like generally pretty pro C++, but there are a bunch of problems with it. Like the detractors are correct in that there's a bunch of things that are really shit in C++. One of them is this variant class, which is like one of the most useful programming constructs in the world. And unfortunately, in C++, the implementation of it in C++ is really bad, because essentially it should be a language feature, and in most programming languages that have some kind of variant type, it's like built into a language. But the C++ philosophy is basically, if something can technically be implemented as a library feature, then it will be implemented as a library feature and not a language feature. So you have this technically possible to implement variant type, which is implemented as a standard library feature. But it's technically possible to implement it, and so it was. but there's no good implementation of it. Like it's bad. It creates bad performance at runtime, and it bloats your binaries at compile time. And yeah, one of the problems I was seeing was it's just generating these like multi-gigabyte object files. It was a combination of like having many hundreds of items in a variant, plus just the call to visit on that variant would just bloat the object size massively. And I tried a bunch of different like implementations of variant. Like I tried the mpark variant and all these different implementations. They all have the same problem. It should be it's just one of these things in C++. It should be a language feature. It's not. It's a library feature, and so it's shit. There you go. That's variant. So instead of doing that, I now do this insane thing where instead of just having a list of this variant type of the things that have changed, and then going through that list and processing the things that I need to process, instead I have this thing, which is basically a tuple of, you can't really see it well because I'm using these special vectors with custom allocators and stuff, but it's basically a tuple of vectors of these t's. So these t's would be this list of things that could possibly change. And so we just generate this massive tuple of vectors of those things. And then I have a bunch of like, just a bunch of boilerplate to make that work. And then I have to like split it into like a bit of a tree structure so that I can, where each level, each like node of this tree has like a Boolean stating if anything has changed at all. So that when it comes to processing this diff information, I can see if I can find it. I can like check these booleans at each level of the hierarchy so that I can skip a bunch of processing if I don't need to. So basically, this is saying like, are there any changes at all to process? And then we go for each of the changes have been like split into sections. So I do all of the things related to blocks, all of the things related to block instances, all the things related to devices, lanes. So it's split into sections. And then for each of these sections, again, I say, has anything changed at all? If it hasn't, then just don't do anything. Otherwise, we go through each of the things that could possibly change and then process this vector of things. So that's like a decent. I don't know how that performs performance-wise compared to processing a vector, but it's probably not that much worse to do it like this. And the object files just went way down. They're like, it went from like, on Windows, it went from like 500 megabytes to, let's see if I can find it. Yeah, this one, 262 megabytes, which is completely fine. And that's the biggest one of the build. The second biggest one is not even, it's still using a variant to do the processing. Yeah, the other thing is that I have to like manually, because the order in which these items are processed is very sensitive. Like I have to process erasures first, then additions, then changes. I used to handle all of that in this like very clever way where it was based on the order in which the items appear in the variant. But now I just have to write all of this boilerplate to like manually go through each vector one by one and process the things that I need to process. It also it's context dependent. So I generate these big structs of information about the diff, and that diff can be processed in different ways by different parts of the system. So I can't do anything like declarative where I can just like list the order in which things should process, because that changes, that can change for each system, and also I don't want to process the same set of things. Okay, I'm just babbling now. Right. Okay, let's get on with it. I wanted to do a thing. I want to fix something that's been bothering me for ages. I have this key which is bound to F by default. The description of the key is focus hovered block. Which is not actually a correct description, because so the idea is you hover it over a block and you press F, and it's the point of it is to, you're in this situation, you're like, I want to edit this block, and so I need to like adjust the workspace to get that block into like a position where it's like comfortable to edit. And so the idea is you can just hover over it and press F and it'll do it for you. I think you can also hover over a lane and press F and it will expand it like that, yeah. But it doesn't adjust the zoom level. And then there's the escape key, which will do different things depending on context. So if you're hovering over a block, if you're currently editing something, if you're hovering over the editor, press escape, it will close the editor. Then if there's no editor open, it will unexpand the lane. Then if you press escape again, if the lane is greater than the minimum height for a lane, it will pop it down. And then if you press escape again, then if all of the current lanes of the track are at the minimum size, I think it will minimize the track. And then F, while hovering over a minimized track, will open it again. So something that feels very unnatural about this is that I think if you have some kind of track built up, there's like a comfortable zoom level when looking at like the overview of the track, which should be something like this. It's wherever you feel comfortable, I guess. It depends on what you're doing, but I reckon like most audio programs will have something like this by default, where there's like a set like zoom level or some kind of overview of the project where things are like zoomed out to a place that is sort of comfortable. So if it has a level like this, and then you're like, I want to edit this block, so hover over it and press F, it does that. Then in order to get back to where I was, I have to go escape, then scroll the mouse wheel and to get back to here. And it feels really bad to me that. Ideally, there should be another shortcut, which I was thinking D, because it's right next to it. It's just to the left of F on a QWERTY keyboard. If you press D, it would go back to the comfortable zoom level. So how do we achieve that? So you press D and it would automatically go back to here. By comfortable zoom level, it's going to have to be some configuration that is decided upon by the user. What I mean by that is because also, you know, these lanes can be expanded, things like that. And the user might prefer certain lanes to be bigger or whatever. So I think the user should be able to zoom to a certain zoom level, configure the sizes of the lanes or the minimized like which tracks should be minimized, which ones should be open, which lanes should be expanded. Maybe they always want a lane to be expanded. No, maybe not. Maybe it's just track minimization, lane height, and zoom level. So they should be able to get to a position like this, press a button, maybe put a button here to say set this as the comfortable view. I don't know what to call it. The default view. Maybe I'll call it the default view for this workspace. It could be a per workspace thing because you can have multiple workspaces. I guess I would call it default view. It's not a very good phrase. Maybe someone else can suggest something better. But you just end up here, you press a button to say this is my default view. This zoom level, whatever I'm currently at, and the heights of all of these lanes, it will just be stored for each lane. Stored to memory. And then if you press F to change the zoom level, at any point you could just press D to get back to your comfortable zoom level with all of your lanes set to the heights where you'd like them. I think that would be very, for me, I think I would like that. That would be very helpful for me. At the moment, it just feels so awful to me. It's like, to get back to where you were, you have to... It's the old double tap escape and then roll the mouse wheel back to where you were. I think that would be very helpful for project navigation. I should take a sip of this coffee. How do we achieve this then? Do I not have it? This doesn't exist anymore. Okay. Somewhere I have like project settings. No, that's not part of this. Oh, this would be a per workspace thing, I think. So it would go in here, I think. What do I want to call this? I could call it a comfort view. I don't know what it's going to be called in the interface yet, but in code, I'm going to call it comfort view. So the zoom level I could either store it as an index into this array, or I could just store the raw float from the transform. I think I'll do that. Zoom level. Or is it 1? What's the default? Default zoom. And then I want to store information per lane, which is a bit awkward because I have to manage lanes being erased and that kind of thing. And obviously each lane should have a default. Oh, maybe the okay, maybe I split it up. Oh, I could just store the comfort size against the lane record instead. Okay, so comfort zoom. Get rid of this. Go in here. Comfort size. I've never really decided what goes in this so-called header and what doesn't. It's just a way to split up the struct to make it smaller. Whatever, I'll put it in here. Okay. Let me create a button. I always tend to do things like UI first. There's going to be a button on the right, I guess. Maybe it should be down here, shouldn't it? Here. I already have a toolbar for workspace stuff. Although this toolbar it applies to all workspaces, not just the current one. Which is fine, I guess. So I'll add another button here. What are you complaining about? Workspace menu. What is this? Panel container. Desync toggle. Toolbar button node. set conflict view button. I need to create an icon for it though. This is to get it out of the way of just to get the text pop-up out of the way of the tooltip. There should be like an on clicked. Icon. Let's see if there's something in Godot that could work. This is a nice repository because the icons are just free to use without worrying about legal issues. I have no idea what I'm looking for. I'm just hoping that something jumps out as being obviously right. Maybe this one. I think that would do for now. sprite frames. Oh yeah, now this is the issue with the peak powered headers, is because I changed these header files, which are part of the peak powered headers. Basically, the entire project has to recompile, which is not so bad anymore. It only takes 1 minute 49. But maybe that's an indication that I should not have. I don't know which bit would be including those. Oh, these two. Maybe because these change quite often, they shouldn't be part of the pre-compiled headers. But yeah, as you can see, it doesn't take that long, so... In fact, the really long bit is the linking, but that is also the linking is shorter now that I made the object files smaller. Having said that, this is taking a long time. It doesn't usually take this long. I just want to see how the button looks. View button. Still no. Set comfort view button. Ah. Okay. Obviously, if the current comfort view is active, then I want to light this up, which is a bit awkward because I have to like go through all the lanes and check if they're all exactly the right size and if the zoom level is exactly right. I need to do that every time something changes, which is not too hard anymore because of the way I set things up. I can be like very reactive to things changing, but I do need to just write that code. Actually built it before. I think probably 3 is about right. Right, I need to decide what I'm calling this in the UI. Fallback view maybe. Set current view as fallback. So the D key would be fallback view. I don't know. Let's just call it comfort view. Set as comfort view. Set comfort view. And then the description would be something like fallback to comfort view. I don't know. I'm not a software designer. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm an engineer. Set comfort view. I think it's still too big. Or maybe this needs to be bigger. Did I build it? No, I didn't build it when I changed it to 4, I think. Oh yeah, that looks correct. Okay. So I have a button here. So it should light up. It should light up. Yeah. Current view is comfortable. Thank you, AI. I wasn't gonna call it that, but that is a funny name for a function. I don't entirely disagree. Set right. How do I do this? I can put that state into here. Not sure whereabouts. This boolean is basically going to be updated anytime the current workspace changes, or the workspace zoom changes, or the height of a lane changes. We're going to recalculate this value and then we react to it in the UI. View is comfortable. I think that's the best way to do this. So there's going to be a UI action. So this is an area where I'm still using a massive variant for all these things. But here, for some reason, I don't have the problem with the objects, the object file bloating out to a ridiculous size. And it's possibly because these structs are much simpler, and they don't have, I think for the most part, they don't have anything going on. There's a few non-trivial types in here, which will do things in like constructor and destructor. But for the most part, these are just IDs and like simple values, so maybe that's why the object files don't bloat out in response to having all of these hundreds of items in a variant. Also, I already switched this one to using mPark variant instead of standard variant, which that does help a bit. It doesn't help. It didn't help enough with the other variants, but it does help a bit with the object file sizes. So here we go. I want to add why do I have default equality and default? I don't remember how this... I mean, this is a bit of a code smell. This doesn't feel right to me, having... Doesn't matter. So much boilerplate here. I'm sure there's a better way of setting this up. This is what I ended up with. I don't need this actually. This is the value that's going to be calculated. All we need is this. Can't remember how this works. Is it like can't remember. Can I get leader? Some kind of leader. Yeah, get leader. Leader workspace. The view is not part of the project states. What view? Right? Yeah. This is what? obviously I'm doing floating point comparisons here, so if it's a tiny bit off, then it's not going to count as the comfort. So maybe I should address that. There's a quick thing here. Right. And then I want to react to that here. Unless I forgot something, that should do it. What was that? Oh, I didn't add it to anything. Go to the toilet right soon. Oh, I actually need to... Yeah, that's a good point. I actually need to trigger that to happen. The lane size? No, it changed. Lane changed size. That one, yeah. Workspace change matrix. Workspace changed. So when a lane is erased, I guess. Lane erased. But not when a lane is added. Okay. Alright, it starts lit up. I think as soon as I zoom now, yeah, it will unlight. And when I return back to the default, is that okay? Oh wait, what's the default? Oh yeah, the default is the default. So now if I change the size of this lane, it unlights, but when I would turn it back to the default, it lights up again. Hey, that's cool. Good. Alright, that's a misleading button. Set comfort view, that's not obvious whether you're setting the current view as the comfort view or whether you want to, whether that means revert back to the comfort view. And also there should be 2 buttons, one for each of those operations, right? Actually, the way it should work is... the way it should work... This button should... revert to the comfort view. To set the comfort view, it should be a context menu item like I have for some of these buttons. You can right click and it's just this one, I guess. And there'll be options here. Why does that look so weird? Something weird going on with the shadows, or is it just my eyes playing tricks on me? Yeah, I think you should right click to set the comfort view. Okay. Recall comfort view. How do I do context menus? Don't remember. This is nice. I have a bunch of context menus all in the same place, which is actually nice. Set. No, set space. Button. as comfort view. Maybe I should alphabetize this list. I have to decide whether this should be part of the history or not. If it isn't, then I have to change everything. I should have thought about this sooner. It massively simplifies things for me if I make it part of the history. Oh, I'm back. Just muted the microphone to sneeze into it. Do that for workspace and then go through each of the lanes. I think that's a bit of a messy implementation, but I don't have the boilerplate to support what I want to do yet. I think because these models are changing so often, I actually should remove these pre-compiled headers. Possibly this one as well. I don't know. I don't really know. What's happening? This context menu doesn't appear in the ideal place. I'm gonna go P again once. I just thought of something when I stood up and all the blood rushed to my head. I'm gonna move this out of here. to somewhere where it makes more sense. But not yet. Yeah, this context menu, I prefer it to appear somewhere else. It always appears at the mouse position at the moment. It's just wherever the mouse is clicked is where it appears. I think there should be a special rule that it shouldn't be below the system bar, maybe. Depends how large, how high. Depends on the height. No, I'm just gonna live with it. Because I can already tell I'm gonna end up going down a rabbit hole of Godot hell because of the way that the height of controls is updated. It always like takes a frame for Godot to calculate the height of the control and all of this bullshit, and it's always a massive exercise in frustration trying to deal with that kind of thing. So I'm just going to deal with this being down here. Okay, it did work. I'm in the wrong place. Should be in this file. I just need to make it do the thing when I click the button. Here. Oh yeah, I need to move... I want to move this. Move it just into here. More sense. Oh wait, no, this is an action, so... I should move it into actions instead. Nah, fuck it, I'll leave it in here. User height is the whatever the current height is. Whatever the current height is. Look at that from here. That's height. This should not return a float, it should return... I know it should actually, yeah. Alright, I forgot about the check minimization. I need to deal with that as well. Yeah. This is not a option.
Save me, save my echo and song. Though I'm not at my best, I can still fill the room with echo and song. Won't you play these sweet keys, sweet and sour and right? Cables trailing the stairs. Send the sweet keys to where there's echo and song.
And there's another parcel for thee. I hear a knocking. Let the bell be. When there's no answer, let the bell ring. Still there's no answer.
Save me, save my echo and song. Though I'm not at my best, I can still fill the room with echo and song. Won't you play these sweet keys, sweet and sour and right? Cables trailing the stairs. Send the sweet keys to where there's echo and song.
lost track now. I'm sure I've missed something. Yeah, if I miss something, I'll find out what it is when I test it. Alright. Do that. Clicking this is not doing anything. Are we getting to here? No. Oh, haha. Ha 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 ha. Whoa. So do that and then go. I don't know what happened there. We set the zoom. .0012. The zoom is not changing. We should at least set the size. Doesn't do it. Hold on a second. Oh. This is wrong. Should be like that. Okay, interesting. Oh yeah. I know what's going on. Yeah, I can't just set the zoom like that. That doesn't make sense. I have to actually Go through this interface. I have to zoom about the current center, I guess. I don't have an interface for doing that at the moment. Zoom out origin. What do you mean? Zoom at origin. Zoom around screen position. That's zooming around the center, I think. Zoom around screen position. Oh, that's odd actually. Why does it work like that? Is this right? It's not zooming around the cursor position at the moment, I think. Yeah, it is. How does this work? Oh, this is zoom in. This is for the hotkey, the keyboard shortcuts. Yeah. Okay. Set zoom. Zoom. I need to pee again. I need to finish this by 11 because then I've got to leave for 5 minutes. How does this work? Set zoom around screen position. not gonna pretend to understand any of this. Oh, that's a zoom level. Let's do that. Oh, but I'm supposed to. Ah, okay. Closest. Find the closest zoom level. Zoom level is. Find closest zoom level. Zoom. Scale. So this should be called set scale around screen position. Scale. Maybe that's okay. What a palaver. Set scale around screen position. What am I? What's wrong with this? Workspace position scale. Hey. Scale. Okay, now. Wait, what? I still fucked it up somehow. What do you mean? Yeah, it does. Ah. So now we go here and space view. Get rid of this. Set scale. Like that. No. What happened? It actually is. I think it just is. Oh, what is that? It's scaling around the center, I think. That's the why. It's going back to right. doesn't seem to be doing the right thing. Hold on. I have a feeling I'm not going to finish this by 11. There we go, that's doing the right thing now, I think. It feels better. It's actually zooming around the center now. Okay, so the lane sizes, I can't resize this for some reason. Why can't I resize? Whoa. What was happening there?
Will you know where you've been all this time? At the edge of a cliff, you could almost just slip down the side.
So let's set this as the current view.
When there's so much to do, don't you wish you could
Nice, it works.
your mind? But it knows it's elusive, it grows and it burns you inside.
So what about minimized track? Set as comfort view.
With my eyes mostly
It
closed,
works.
like a person who knows how to drown.
That's good.
I'll squint at the sun and my shoulders will pray for the ground. Let's throw something over, imagine it's us falling
So I just need to make that a
down.
hotkey now as well.
And thinking of death, we will watch
Or two hotkeys, I guess.
making a sound. But it's just the way you are. You don't have to be afraid. The way you look at the stars and how you think that they were made. The motion will never stop, turning the night into the day. You've gone away enough. When will you decide to stay?
Yeah, one thing about it is it doesn't, if a lane is expanded like this, it doesn't unexpand the lane.
Everything always
So it will still be the minimum,
just right.
there's a minimum allowed height for an expanded lane. But as
Just
soon as you unexpand it, it will go back.
think could keep
So I might change that as well,
the night.
probably. Yeah, I probably should.
Not to know what you want is a terrible thing.
Yeah, let's do that now.
You just suffer the face of the dark while you
Flags? Do we have lane flags? No. Oh, this is not part of Shim. Okay, yeah, it would be though. False. I should roll these into one. This is not a Wiz thing, this is... this already.
In the sunlight, where the peacocks spread like graceless the vision
I'm gonna set by default. I'll set it to D. No, not that one. This one is D. This one I'm gonna leave unassigned, I think. Or maybe something really awkward like Control-Alt-D. Okay, so that should show up here. Okay. Let's try it out. So press F on here and then D. Oh, I didn't actually set. So Control-Alt-D to set. That lights up. F, D. F, D. So it's not gonna. It doesn't recall the horizontal position. It's only the zoom level. And pressing F does move the horizontal position. So over here, for example, and then when D, we're now over here, which I think is fine. F here, D. I think that's really good. I think that makes things so much better.
Ring of the church bells in the morning.
That is like,
The peacocks
that's like the main thing I would ask for, I think, if I was
sit in bitter
using Blockhead.
Beauty's only
Or maybe when you record, it should, if you do it by shortcut, it should do it around the cursor rather than the center. That would be nice, I think. Then it would go back to what you expect it to do. So, around cursor. Now how do I do this? Screen position. I think it's as simple as this. I did this wrong. I put the boolean on the wrong function. Why is it so laggy? I think it's just debug mode stuff. I will have to. I think it gets just laggy in debug mode when it's also when it's doing tasks in the background. Oh no, it's nothing to do with that. It's just having so many blocks on the screen in debug mode, I think. I think in release that's not an issue. So anyway, Control Alt D.
I myself.
Hold on, Zach. So F and then D. Yes, it goes back exactly where you want, I think. F over here, D. That's really good. I didn't check this stuff, right? F, D. Oh, I didn't reset it, so set current view as comfort view, F, D. Minimize, Control Alt D, F, D, F, D. I think that's really, I think people will love that. That's gonna go over a fucking storm.